Today, we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating paradox. When it comes to communication, power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's actually silent. So let's explore why saying less can often mean so much more. I want you to think about the last important meeting you were in. Maybe it was a big negotiation, or heck, even just a tense family dinner. Picture the people sitting around that table. Now, ask yourself, who really held the power in that room?
You probably have two kinds of people in your mind's eye, right? There's the person who fills every single silence, their voice is booming, their hands are everywhere, and then there's the other person, quiet, observant, just listening, totally comfortable letting a moment of silence just hang in the air.
Our gut instinct usually tells us the talker is the one in charge. But what if that's all wrong? What if the real power actually belongs to the person who has the confidence to say nothing at all?
So let's really dig into this idea, this kind of counterintuitive power of saying less.
Think about it. When you have true authority, you don't need to prove it with a constant stream of words. You're operating from a place of quiet confidence, knowing that your presence and the few words you choose are more than enough.
And this whole phenomenon, it isn't just a gut feeling. Nope, researchers actually have a name for it.
Okay, this is the key idea right here. By explaining less, you're sending this incredibly powerful subconscious message. It's like you're saying, look, I don't need to convince you. My ideas stand on their own, and I respect you enough to know you'll get it. That is a massive signal of high status.
So why? Why does our brain interpret silence this way? Well, it all comes down to psychology.
So what's actually happening in our brains when we encounter someone who has just mastered this art of saying less?
It turns out there are 4 key things at play. First, silence just projects this immense confidence. You seem totally secure. It also creates gravitas, which makes the words you do say feel heavier, more important. It implies competence, like you're so good you don't need to constantly prove yourself. And, maybe most strategically, it forces other people to fill the void, and they often reveal way more than they plan to, basically handing you control of the conversation.
But to really feel the power of silence, we have to understand its opposite, which is the trap of over-explaining. It really all boils down to mindset. A high-status mindset just assumes competence and really values brevity. A low-status mindset, on the other hand, is constantly seeking validation. It fears being misunderstood, and it makes the mistake of thinking that talking more means you're contributing more value. It's a subtle difference, but it is profound.
And that mindset, it translates directly into the language we use. High-status communication is declarative. It's comfortable with pauses. Low-status language, well, it's full of hedging. I kind of think. And it's packed with filler words like and pretty much just to avoid silence at any cost.
So, after all of this, what's the key takeaway here? What should you remember?
Here it is. The goal isn't to talk the most. It's to make your words count the most. The most powerful statement you can make is often the one you hold back. It's all about economy, impact, and just plain confidence.
This quote just hits the nail on the head. The next time you find yourself rambling on, just stop and ask yourself, am I actually making a statement here, or am I secretly asking for permission?
So the next time you're about to speak, just take a breath. Think about what truly actually needs to be said, and really consider the immense power of everything you decide to leave out. In your next conversation, what will you choose not to say?